this is Matthew Miller with the ZDNet Mobile Gadget here. Got a new device to check out for a little bit, and it's the MWG Zinc II. Now MWG is used to be O2 Asia, and Expansys bought them and is now branding and selling MWG products. The Zinc II, I think, is one of the first ones in the US. And here is the device. It retails for just about $550 at Expansys, I believe. It is a quad-band GSM and tri-band HSDPA UMTS. So as you can see right there, I've got my AT&T SIM card in there, and it's getting 3G and switched between HSDPA as well. I'll start off with a little bit of a walk around the device. Let's just turn the screen off. As you can see, the front is pretty minimalistic. There is a flush display. It doesn't have a beveled edge or anything like that. It's got a send and end key. It's got a directional pad that rotates with an action button in the middle. There's an indicator light up top. Right now it's flashing green. And if we take a look around, the top has nothing on it there. Up on the other part of the top on the left side is a lanyard loop. Then we've got some volume up and down. We've got the Zinc II quick menu, which I'll show you. That's the launch button there. And there is a micro SD slot with no cover on it, which is fine because most of the time they're a pain anyway. And what's nice to see is it has the standard mini USB port on the bottom for charging and syncing. However, it's also the port that we use for the headset jack, which sometimes can be a pain. It is a touchscreen device, so there is a stylus. As you can see, there's the length of the stylus. It's a telescoping stylus. It's decent. It's a little short, but it does have a little bit of weight to it, so it's a decent stylus. Not too bad. And let's see, as we keep on going, there's the camera button. I believe that's the reset button there with the mic hole in the bottom. And there is the power switch. Around the back, we've got a 2 megapixel camera with no flash, but a self-portrait mirror there and a speaker. And there's the battery cover on the back. And I can't remember the capacity of the battery. Let's see, we've got a 1530 milliampere lithium battery. And just slide it back on. The casing is actually pretty nice on the device. The entire device, even the front edges, is all the soft touch, so it feels pretty good in your hand. And then it's got a silver band around here, kind of heavy plastic. Another feature, this is a keyboard device, a slider keyboard. So let me try to get a little bit closer here, and I think you can see it's very flat. See right there? There is no, it's just a flush keys with little blue borders around the keys themselves. It does have a caps and function light which light up, which is nice, and the soft keys are placed directly below the soft keys on the display. However, a couple things that have bothered me so far is that the space bar is extremely small. It's the same as all the other buttons. It doesn't really stand out, but that's the space bar right there. There's very few shortcuts. There's a start menu and an OK button, and that's about it. There's nothing else to quick launch, which to me is a little bit of a problem just because there's so many few keys on the device itself. It's also, the layout is a little bit strange. As you can see, the Q is quite a bit offset from like the A below it and then a Z. And over here, the mistake I keep on making, the K is above the N, whereas usually the M, it's a little offset over that way. So I keep on pressing N all the time instead of M, and keep on making that mistake. One of the things I really don't like is the period. It requires you to do a function period, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So that's the physical, and let me just offer a comparison to an older device, the HTC Wizard, the QTech 9100. They're about the same in height. The MWG is a little bit wider, but the thickness, MWG is quite a bit thinner than the QTech was. And here's a keyboard, quick little keyboard comparison. As you can see, they had definite buttons on there with, it was 4 rows actually, whereas this one is a 3-row. So all the punctuation and things like that, directional keys, is all required to use a function rather than. And the 3 row is interesting. There's actually some keyboards that have 5 rows, and then we go back to a 3-row. So let's turn on the device. And let me turn off the overhead one there. And this is, it looks like I went back to the startup screen. Oh, because I pulled the battery cover off. Forgot about that. You can kind of see the MWG startup. See, it's got some nice animations going on. Windows Mobile 6.1 Professional touchscreen device, as I say. The configuration is it has 256 ROM with, I believe, about 150 megabytes of ROM available, and it's a 64 megabyte RAM with about 32 available for running applications, which is a little bit anemic at this time. You really should have 128 megs RAM in the device in today's system. Okay, so here's the Today screen. Let me start off quickly by pressing the quick menu, and as you can see, it looks a little bit like something from HTC. Now, this first screen has Windows Media, Pictures and Videos, Camera, and Games, and these are all the Windows Mobile apps. There's no custom apps that I could find. This is shortcuts, and you can actually set up different groups like work, home, and business and friends and things like that. So you could have quite a few shortcuts for speed dialing. And this is shortcuts for your applications. As you can see, I have Google Maps up there. If I was to tap that, it would give me the list of all the applications on the device, and I would just tap something and set the shortcut. Next screen has default shortcuts. So there's messaging, Internet Explorer, connectivity, calendar, notes, file manager, calculator, and settings. And if you tap on settings, it actually goes to the most common settings, as you can see in the Windows Mobile 6 system. And let's see, let's go to the wireless connectivity. I think this is the connection manager. As you can see, they have an MWG connection manager, which is the phone, the Edge, HSDPA, the wireless connection there. This is the Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth, and then switch quickly into flight mode. And let me just go into here, show you some of the programs. You know, all the traditional Windows Mobile 6.1 programs, with also a GPS utility. I don't think I'll get it here inside my house, but as you can see, what changes is the indicator light flashes. Now it's green, and then it's purple for the GPS, and then I believe it'll also flash another color when I'm using blue for Bluetooth. So it has a multitude of colors that it flashes. It does include a Java application, which is nice for Opera Mini and Gmail. It has a streaming player, which I haven't really tried out too much. Remote desktop, SIM manager, and a few other things. Let's jump into settings here. Those are all the traditional Windows Mobile 6.1 settings. Here's some device information, and as you can see, there's the hardware I was talking about. As you can see, it also is a 240 by 320 display, which would be nice to have VGA, but we can't ask for everything, I guess, right now. This is the headset volume limiter, so you don't blow your ears out. Kind of nice. Little utility, and let's see, that's all the custom utilities. Connections, there's what we saw with the wireless manager. Here's a LAN utility for Wi-Fi. Just kind of shows you your status, info, things like that. And that's about it. Now, as you can see, when I run in different applications, it's actually fairly snappy for the most part. I touch the screen. All this traditional Windows Mobile 6.1 applications on board, including Internet Explorer Mobile. And there it goes, switching between 3G and HSDPA. And let me just show you how it switches the landscape quite quickly. Keyboard in and out. And there's the keyboard with the backlight. You can kind of see the blue lighting on it. Lights up fairly well. If I push the capture function, that lights up too to give you that indication. So that's a look at the MWG Zinc II, available from Expansys for about $550. It's a SIM unlock device, tri-band HSDPA UMTS, and quad band GSM.